That's a quick meeting.
That's a tardy slip. And a board member to boot. All the parents are giving on.
I'm Buffy Mann, principal of St. Charles Middle School, and I'm here to present the pay prep scores from this previous year. I just want just going to hear from.
I'm from Calvary.
Parent member at Calvary. You're from London Middle, correct? Parent member. You're high school. You're part of my council.
I've got one there too.
Board member and Mr. Hall. Okay, just make sure I know everybody. I know you. That's why I didn't mention you. Sorry. The first thing that I want to do is talk a little bit about our poster here, just to make sure that everyone understands, since all of the posters are set up in the same fashion. Our accountability score is compiled on 28% achievement, 28% of the GAP student score, and 28% growth, and then 16% college and career readiness. This together makes up 100%, which is our 60.9. This is how we get our figure. When you back up into the colors, the achievement score is compiled from the scores on the K-Prep of the core content areas. So reading counts 20%, math is 20, science is 20, social studies is 20, writing is 16, and mechanics is 4. So this makes up 100% that feeds into the achievement. Okay, so like I said, I just want you to understand where these percentages come from and how they correlate with the percentages that are listed in each component. One thing that I want to say first of all about St. Charles is that I feel like that I have been blessed to land in such a wonderful school with great teachers, with students. The community support down there is wonderful. And our only downfall is that good is the equal of great. Everything is good, and we just have to work harder to reach that level of greatness that we so want to achieve. Last year, their goal was to score 64.9, which would have made them a distinguished school, and we made it to 60.9, which is only 4 points away from a distinguished score. Very reachable, very much within our reach to be a distinguished school. And as you can see, some of our most proud accomplishments here are found in our reading, our writing, and our language mechanics. Now, in discussions with the teachers, they feel that this part of this was attributed last year to block scheduling. It didn't work out for block scheduling this year, so we shall see if we can maintain that on a different time slot. If not, that might be something that we need to look at in the future of how we would be able to go back to block scheduling. Areas an area that would be of great concern to us would be our math scores. We went down in math here. Even though our GAP was down, everything else went up in GAP. Well, the social studies did, but I mean the other areas went up. The GAP's only 2/10 down, but it's still something that we want to address because our overall growth we lost in math. We plan to address those, our weak areas with Compass Learning, which is the technology that's we just trained on October the 14th. At St. Charles, we have the exploratory morning rotation and an afternoon rotation. Our afternoon rotation is now enrichment courses. Students who would benefit from enrichment and working on the Compass Learning have been assigned to the afternoon classes, 10 to 12 to a teacher, so it's a small group. And then the other students are receiving enrichment in the drama, writing the newspaper, projects such as that would benefit those students. So we also hope that with the implementation of the new instructional coaches, that they will be able to come in and look at what we're doing and help us increase our rigor. As teachers, we always think that we're doing our best. We don't intentionally not do the best. But sometimes we need someone from the outside to come in and look at and investigate that and see what we can do to do better. So that's our goal for our math. You see that we went up in our Explore scores. That's our only component for college and career readiness is just the Explore, and they went up in each area last year. So that was something that we were very proud of. This is a test that's taken earlier in the school year in September. So what this is. This component early. How much of that percentage you either gained or you didn't receive towards our overall score. What else? Do you have any questions at this point? I feel like I'm almost rattling. We lost points in science, which we will be addressing, and also in our social studies. We've already we address this early with some movement, different placement of teachers, and by examining our curriculum. And Lebanon Middle School has been collaborating with us to share. They have some strong social studies teachers there to share their pacing guides and their information, so that our teachers have a better hold on what our schools should be doing with our social studies curriculum. We're still discussing what happened in science, and the teacher feels that there is some disconnect between the new standards, trying to look at what needs to be taught, or what's coming down the pipe, and trying to cover, what hasn't been taught to that point, but also the fact that as we receive students into middle school with little to no science background, and so we're playing catch up. So we have a lot of things that we think might play into that, but we're just kind of picking it apart and trying to address it as we see it fit.
How many tests per year goes into these scores? Just one test, and that's at the end of it, other than the Explorer.
Yeah, the Explorer is just one shot early, and the
Explorers in the fall of the eighth grade.
Do you feel like the reason the science scores are down, do you feel like the students that are coming into the middle school from the elementary school level, do you feel like they're already down when they come into middle school? Is it something
I think it's from lack of exposure, and because I've taught in self-contained classrooms before, you have to get everything fit into your day. Guess what gets the back burner?
Right.
Science and social studies. So I think that's, and what has happened over the years, every year more and more is added. You've got to be, there's just more added to your plate. So it just keeps getting pushed a little farther back, especially if you're not a science person, and it doesn't come second nature to you. It's hard to find that material.
How do you feel about extended school hours per day?
For like a regular calendar?
Right.
It's probably almost going to be necessary at some point.
Well, I went to school at 8 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. We let in at 8 o'clock.
We're starting at 20 after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we actually, some kids start at 7:45 because they can come in and work on accelerated math and their teacher available for them. So some kids, their day is.
Is that something you do on a rotating daily basis? Maybe English one day, math another day, science one day, or is it just?
We have the library open every morning and the computer lab open every morning. Computer lab for accelerated math and the library for accelerated reading. Or if they need additional help in another subject, they will certainly go into the library.
And that opens up 15 minutes early.
It's 7:45.
But you're also leaving it up to the student to decide whether to take advantage of that.
Until we make contact with the parent and we say they need to be going there, the parent says, I want them going there, then we start funneling them that way. When they come in, we're escorting them on. Yeah, because
And then how much is that achievable? How many students can achieve that by getting there on the bus at quarter-tail? Do your buses run in that?
We have a pretty good. We have a pretty good high percentage of the buses that are at St. Charles. But you have to remember they have to drop at St. Charles before they go on to the high school. They're arriving there earlier than they would if they go to middle. Lebanon Middle, you have some kids that are coming in right at 8 or a little after.
Yeah, Rebecca gets picked up when we live on Main Street. She gets picked up at 7:40.
Right. But most we have, there's very few. I think maybe that last bus rolls in at maybe 22, give or take. So most of them have that opportunity. The ones, I find that the ones that, if I contact the parents to say this is available, they're drop-off students. And either brother or sister's dropping them off, and they're not going to get them there early, or it's a work situation where the parents can't get them there early.
It's about
Have any other questions?
I'm trying to think. It's a real hard question. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. can't think of the thing.
Have I baffled you or
No,
answered all the
no, I
questions?
think you've answered my question. Just
Okay,
in
good
time.
time. Thank you all.
Tonight, we have a lot of things that we want to share with you, and I'm going to jump right in and start. I had some things color-coded up here, but they have disappeared. But you can sort of see some of our green spots, green meaning good, and these are the things I'm most proud of and excited about here at our school. Our reading scores went up 4 points, math scores went up 1 point, writing scores went up 8 points, and we're very, very excited about those 3 areas. Those are areas we really put a lot of time, a lot of effort into, and I anticipated that growth. I sort of knew that was going to be okay. The other 2 was science and social studies. I did not know that we were going to drop, so we've got a lot of work to do in those 2 areas. But I am pleased in the 3 green areas right here. Currently, when you average all this, like Ms. Newcomb was saying, we're in a needs improvement category. We did not score high enough. We're going to this year, but we didn't last year in order to move up to the proficiency level, which is what our goal is. Right now, we're ranked 157 out of 331. It's average, but we're not an average school. So we're not accepting that, and we're going to move forward, and we have a plan for moving forward. Our scores down here, this is our Explore exam. So these are the things that we did last year. Total score was a 58.4. We've already got our scores back, like Ms. Newcomb said, and now we're at a 68.8. So it's going to be a substantial growth this year. I anticipated with us going down in Explore last year that these might not be where we want them to be. But we've got a different group of students and we're moving forward. I'm very excited with what we've already done this year. Okay? So that's this. This is the game plan. And this is where we're going, and this is how we're going to get to that proficiency level. I think it's very important as a middle school person is we have to play the game. So we've called our plan the Operation Patriot. It's an Operation Patriot, sort of like the Mission Impossible theme, and we're doing all of this, and you got to play what it's like for a middle school to buy into what you're doing. On the left-hand side is the student accountability of what I expect the students to be able to do. These are above and beyond what we've done in the past. On the right-hand side is the teacher part on what I expect them to do, which is again above and beyond what we've done in the past. So we're taking all the things that work, plus we're adding a few more things to it, and now we have our plan, which is the Operation Patriot. The middle chart shows you what our targets, our delivery targets are for this year. We know specifically how many students in math in 6th grade I've got to have at the proficiency level. I've got to have 77 kids in 6th grade in math to score at a proficiency level in order to make proficiency. So we know what it is, we know exactly what we're doing, and teachers are taking their student growth reports and we're making some conversations with these students that need to be had. We're going to have higher expectations, and we've got to make sure that we see this through. We can't just let things fall through. It's got to be pushed all the way through. So I'm very proud of what we're doing. We came up with this plan, this shared vision within the teacher retreat. We had a retreat last week, and what we did is we came up with what we thought that we could do above and beyond what we're already doing. And we needed to track students better. We needed to track data better. And I think this plan initiates that. Our number one goal at the school is relationship piece, the mentorship piece. That's number one. It always will be number one in my book. So that is number one. We will continue to make that what it needs to be. But when you get kids comfortable and you get them eating out of your hand, then they're going to start performing. Then they're going to perform. So that relationship piece is a must in order to get a child to perform. I didn't want to go through all 10 of these things because I knew we would run out of time. But if you have any questions about one of them, I'll be glad to talk to you about those things.
Okay. Now, you have 77 students in the 6th grade that have to be proficient in math to be proficient, and 46 GAP students. Now, are we separating the population so it's of the 77, 46 of them are GAP?
They have to be 46 have to be GAP.
Okay, so 31 have to be not GAP.
Right.
Okay.
But us being around
Yeah.
85%
Yeah.
in the GAP, you know,
Yeah.
that's most of our kids anyway.
Okay.
And that's why our GAP score is so hard to move forward. But I mean, we have to. We don't.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. You got to claim them, name them, and then move them forward to where you want to get them. So it's really making sure that students are accountable for their learning. That's a big push, and especially the student voice part is you're in charge here. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know why you're learning this today? What is the learning target for my class? How do I know if you have learned this? These are the conversations that are being had every class period, every day.
I've got a real hard question for you, okay? It's not only the students that have to achieve it, it's the teachers to be accountable. We have to make sure they're doing their job, okay? If you walked in my office where I work, there's 8 guys in our office, and you ask me, of those 8, how many would I say that are distinguished, okay, or proficient? Let's just say proficient, okay? I could tell you 7. Excuse me, I could tell you 5 out of the 8. I could tell you that out of those other 3, you've probably got 1 who's a novice and will never achieve any more than that.
Right.
When we talk about teachers, okay, in your school, out of all your teachers, what percent would you say are going to be able to do this? What percent do you think won't be able to do it?
I've got 1 teacher that I'm worried about.
Okay. Out of how many?
I have 25 teachers.
So that's pretty dang good.
Right.
Pretty good.
Now, the teachers that I've met from 6th and 7th grade, it's pretty much got it on track.
But I'm in charge of the hiring.
Right.
And I hired 2 really good people. But I don't just think they're going to come knocking at my doorstep. I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to go after them.
Right.
You know, I'm going to go to other districts and I'm going to seek the best. Just that type of person. Any other questions?
So actually, Todd, on from last year, just use last year. I'm just trying to grasp this math you got there. You had 172 proficient distinguished on math. I'm just looking at math. All right. You need 225 basically proficient distinguished to get the proficient. So you're saying basically you got to move 50 kids, 75 kids from novice and apprentice up to proficient distinguished.
That's right.
Very lofty goal. I mean, it's a great goal. A great goal.
But I'm thinking with this compass, the compass learning, that's the route we're going to take. I mean, we have to.
And how are you going to be using the compass at the middle school?
In 6th grade, they have an activity period. So every kid is getting it, every single 6th grader. In 7th grade, in science, once they take a flashback, on Fridays we take a little flashback to see if you remember what you did that week. On Monday, when you come into the science classroom, if you pass the flashback or met the benchmark, then you will go to the Compass Learning Lab and you will work on Compass Learning. If you didn't meet that goal, then I'm going to keep you back and we're going to work on remediation in science and also social studies. So that's another difference of what we're doing different this year than what we did last year. And that means that all of our kids are getting in the lab, but we're not just talking the bottom kids here, we're talking every child working on that. This is not just...
And how much time during the day do they have for that?
For 6th grade?
Yeah.
6th grade we're giving them 80 minutes a week.
7th grade?
We're not there yet. We're checked in and we've gotten in.
Right.
That's it. I can't get it to work yet. But I'm working on that. And through the science, that's how we're going to even get more people. Thank you all. Thank you.